The House January 6 committee will return Tuesday with a focus on the role extremist groups played in the Capitol attack. Lawmakers say they will draw a line from those groups to President Trump. CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane reports.
On the eve of its next hearing, another star witness says he's willing to talk to the committee investigating the U.S. Capitol attack.
Well, I'm never going to back down.
President Trump's former White House advisor, Steve Bannon, after snubbing the committee for months, says Trump, dissatisfied with how the hearings are progressing, has given him the green light to talk. The committee wants to know what Bannon knew ahead of the Capitol attack and has focused on this prediction from him the day before.
All hell is going to break loose.
Tomorrow's hearing will explore the mobilization of the mob, including by far-right groups, the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, and the links those groups have to Trump associates, including Roger Stone and one-time National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Committee member Stephanie Murphy said tomorrow's hearing will showcase this December 2020 tweet. Mr. Trump writing, "Big protest in D.C. on January 6th. Be there. Will be wild."
Well, the president's tweet in the wee hours of December 19th activated the groups and how the members of Congress amplified that tweet. And the tragic end result was January 6th.
Members of both far-right groups have been accused of seditious conspiracy and raising money for the attack ahead of the 6th. Recent court filings allege some Oath Keepers brought bomb-making instructions and a hit list to Washington.
We learned that they came with explosives, they came armed, they came with maps of the Capitol, and with plans that extended beyond just a peaceful protest. In many ways, they carried out the will, the pressure, the anger. They were the manifestation of that.
And Scott joins me now with more from Capitol Hill. Scott, Steve Bannon has bragged about essentially saying he will spread so much disinformation that it will confuse people. Given that that's his reputation, how has the committee responded to his about-face and his announcement that he's willing to testify?
They've been guarded about it, John. They've said they're willing to hear from any witness who has something valuable to offer and is offering to come forward. They won't comment on their negotiations with witnesses, but one committee member told me today the committee will not give a platform to misinformation. She said as much when responding to my question about Steve Bannon's offer, but there's something else. He's a week away now from criminal prosecution for contempt of Congress, for defying the subpoenas of this committee. The offer he made at the 11th hour to come forward, it's unclear he'll be able to enter that into evidence. A judge today knocked back a whole series of defenses Bannon was going to try to make next Monday at trial. So much so that his defense attorney in open court today, John, says, "Why go to trial if I can't offer any defenses?" And the judge responded, "Agreed." We'll see what happens next Monday.
So so that's next Monday. That's the Steve Bannon story. So what about tomorrow? You have covered these riders so closely. What's your eye on tomorrow?
This is the biggest intersection, John, between the Justice Department's prosecution of rioters and conspirators January 6th and those accused of it, and the January 6th committee's investigation. Here's the intersection. The group of far-right members, according to the Justice Department, are those who've committed the most serious crimes: seditious conspiracy, plotting and planning, raising arms, raising money ahead of January 6th, even staging some of those guns across the river in Virginia in case Trump were to invoke the Insurrection Act that day. These players are going to be a big part of the story tomorrow from the January 6th committee as they explain how they believe far-right groups mobilized the hundreds, if not thousands, of people who were here unlawfully on Capitol grounds January 6th. It's going to be very interesting to see what connective tissue they draw between those far-right groups and other players in these stories, including those who may be associated with the Trump inner circle.
Well, that's right. That's the key point, isn't it? That one of the things that we've always been interested in is the connection between those who might have self-activated to come to Washington and those who might have done so with explicit planning with the White House. Do we have any evidence or idea that there are any new connections? There's been hints, of course, about that so far. Anything we might hear that's new on that front tomorrow?
Well, let's talk about what we know already. We know, of course, former President Trump famously at the 2020 presidential debate said stand back and stand by about the Proud Boys. And we know this committee has made the argument some Proud Boys, including Proud Boys leaders, saw that as a call to action. Those words. We know from court filings, the accused founder of the Oath Keepers, Stuart Rhodes, is, among other things, accused of making a call trying to reach Donald Trump during the peak of the violence here January 6th. The question becomes tomorrow, what other points do they try to connect? What other dots do they try to connect tomorrow? What connective tissue do they form between those groups and the White House on January 6th?
The panel hasn't pre-released the names of who's going to be appearing tomorrow. Is that a part of their concern about witness intimidation? How do you read that?
Yeah, that is not a strategy to build suspense. That is not a strategy to keep people waiting and hanging on a thread. According to a committee member, they're doing that because of grave fears of witness intimidation. They've already alleged that at the previous hearing, that a witness received messages that seemed almost mob-like about, be careful with your testimony, we'll be watching. What they're trying to do, they say, is to try to protect those witnesses through the moment they sit down. Witness intimidation is a genuine concern, according to the committee, and that's why they're being cryptic with who will appear. But we very much do expect witnesses here tomorrow.
All right, Scott MacFarlane, we'll see you at the touch screen tomorrow. Thank you.